Welcome back to the video series of Opengyan. Ayn Rand is a famous novelist and Fountainhead is one of her very first major success stories. It talks about a building architect who builds the buildings for its purpose rather than its beauty. Building built to solve its purpose of living or an office space or even a temple. In the previous videos, we saw the basic building blocks of a software. To draw an analogy, it's more like to decide which and how to choose the brick, the cement and the sand. Now it is time to move up and to draw sketches of a building. It's time for the software, architecture and design. Firstly, what is design and what is architecture? Are they different? And if so, how are they different? Let's take an example of traffic signs in Mount Road, the heart of Chennai. When we deal with architecture, the decisions are based on whether we want to place the signs for different places. Do we want a direction to Mylapore or to Mysore? To T Nagar or to Tambram? Once decisions are made, the decisions of the sign size, the color, the height at which we want to place the signs are all design decisions. Let's take another example. In case of a building, a conference room in an office, the decisions to have two entry doors, a window, is an architectural decision. The decision of having the doors with proper access to office pathways and a window on the side of a wall with a view is a design decision. Having a window overlooking a wall or a restroom is a bad design decision, while having a single door to the conference hall built to accommodate a 50-member delegation is a bad architectural decision. The architectural and design decisions should go hand in hand. Now let's see the different stages of software design in brief. First, we start with the levels of software architecture over here. The very first level is that of objects. We had looked at objects, their components of members and functions, the decisions that go about creating the objects in the previous videos. The next is to go for design patterns. It is more about organizing the objects, their interactions and behavior to solve the design problem in a time-tested way. Design patterns help the designer to best fit the known solutions to the problem at hand. Once we move from design patterns, it is about frameworks. The frameworks talk about interworking of design patterns. How do the organized objects created initially interact with each other at runtime? How is that the whole solution is brought into effect? If the bones are the design patterns, then the skeleton on which the software is built upon is the framework. The subsystems employ the frameworks to achieve a part of a business logic. From a high level, the software solution have multiple systems which in turn can have multiple subsystems. From an architectural viewpoint, let's just take an example. This flow will be easily understood by taking a web server example. A web server is a system, for example, is a Tomcat server. The logging of incoming web traffic is one of the subsystems which can use logging framework like that of a Log4j. The Log4j can in turn use multiple design patterns like that of a factory design pattern or that of a singleton design pattern for the log files on to write the objects. And the log message by itself can become an object. To view this from a programmer's perspective, the objects written for our class, for college and the courses is the first level. The interaction that they have between them is a design pattern, and the JUnit framework that we write the unit test cases is the next level. So we go from objects to design patterns to frameworks to subsystems and then to architecture. With this, let's take a bit more deep look into the softwares that we use, the Word, the Excel, the browsers, and try to find out the decisions that the designers and the architects have made with respect to those, like that of an icon, the menus, the placements and their usages. We sure will find some good usages like the start menu of Windows and some bad usages like that of an auto update which gives only a restart option. Think on the decisions you look at the software that you use and make note of it. And until then, have a nice time. Bye.